go for the beam. So here comes the Ninetales. We got the shield in hand. This Azumarill's Giant Energy. We get the lag out of nowhere. There's the shield. Here comes the solar beam. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Ox here with another video. If you're new to the channel, we do upload Pokemon Go content mostly related to PvP, so please consider subscribing to the channel if that is of interest to you. And if you're a returning subscriber like Patrick Kelly, thank you for the support. In today's video, we are taking a look at Kanto Ninetales, the Shadow variant, and I am super excited to test out this Pokemon. Now, let me just warn you guys ahead of time, my queues are quite long, so I am sort of trying to tank in a sense. This team that I built here is not a great team, and it isn't a team that I would recommend you build around Ninetales. However, you're going to see in these battles, it did perform pretty decently, and I did pull off some pretty impressive wins, and Ninetales seems pretty legit. Now, I did not use an Elite TM to get Ember, so I am running Fire Spin. That is going to be doing less damage but generate energy quicker, so there is a give and take there. If you guys want to use an Elite TM to get Ember, I do not blame you, but Ninetales looks pretty solid so far. Also tested out the Alolan, but I had a lot more fun with the Kanto version. If you guys enjoyed this type of content, please smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow. And without any further ado, let's just jump into the first battle right now. Alright, so I am not gonna lie, I'm pretty hyped up for these battles. Bisheped here in match number 1, and we got Defense Deoxys here going up against a Whiscash. And look at this, I see a Psycho Boost here, I'm like, what the heck's going on? Psycho Boost. Then I see the CP, I'm like, what the heck is this? What is going on? Where is my Deoxys? I am running the wrong Deoxys here, so at this point I was considering just quitting the game, to be honest, but I decided, you know what? Screw it, no Paul Georging here today. We're gonna go all out, try to still win this matchup. So I decided to pretty much just sack the Deoxys because it's useless to me. There's nothing I could do. I'm debuffing myself with Psycho Boost. Surprisingly, it's doing some pretty decent damage still despite being so under-leveled here. Actually, I don't think it's that under-leveled. It's probably like a couple levels, but still, it makes a big difference. And the Whiscash takes us out. Now, we did get a shield, which is pretty huge. So I bring in the Swampert here because obviously Ninetales is gonna get destroyed by the Whiscash. So Swampert's coming in here. I was a little afraid of the Blizzard. Shielded a Mud Bomb, that's not good. And then here I'm like, damn it, this better not be the Blizzard now, because if it is, I'm kind of in trouble. So it is the Blizzard. That hurts a lot. Opponent switched out into Skarmory, so I bring in the Ninetales here. Ninetales absolutely loves to see the Skarmory here. Gonna go for this Weatherball. Brand new move added for Ninetales. And with the Shadow variant, that is doing a lot of damage, as you can see there. Now Sky Attack, wasn't sure how much damage it's gonna do. Actually, I don't really know any of these matchups with Ninetales because I've never used it before, and this is the first time, so we're gonna go learn as we go. We do get rid of that Skarmory, and I go for the Weatherball here on the Whiscash, which would definitely KO, but it does get the shield. So at this point, I understand that they want to knock out the Ninetales. Probably have something in the back that's very weak to the Ninetales, so I come in with the Swampert here. Opponent switched on to Abomasnow. Huge mistake right here. Throwing the Sludge Wave immediately was a huge mistake. I should have overfarmed a little bit so that I would have enough energy to beat this Whiscash to the Hydro Cannon. I threw this game. The Abomasnow would not get to a Weather Ball for at least another 2 or 3 mud shots, so I should have overfarmed. I messed up there. I almost won that game despite that horrible lead with the wrong Deoxys. So pretty crazy. We got the right Deoxys here, but we got the wrong type of lead we want to see. Haunter here, shiny Haunter. So I switch out into Ninetales because see, Ninetales operating as a safe switch. This is not a well-constructed team, but this is too soon to be a Shadow Ball or a Sludge Bomb. So I know it's a Shadow Punch. I take that. You can see we take it pretty well with the Shadow Ninetales here. Gonna go for this Weather Ball. This is no joke. This is gonna do a lot of damage. Gets the shield. Opponent switches out into Scrafty. So at this point, I'm able to get to the Weather Ball, which is really nice. And this doesn't seem like it's a good matchup for Ninetales, but this Weather Ball is definitely gonna help out. And we get the Scrafty into the yellow. So at this point, I'm gonna bring back in the Deoxys here. We have a shield advantage. This is playable. So I don't want to shield the first foul play because I know it won't KO, and maybe they'll go for the Power Punch, which they do. So that's a huge call for us. And now I know I can pretty much farm down here, so because I have so much health, I'm actually going to shield up this foul play at this point, just because I know that Shadow Punch won't be able to KO, and it'll apply more pressure to that Haunter to actually build up. But he brings in the Skarmory instead, so I'm going to go for the Thunderbolt here. This is going to do a lot of damage. Actually gets their second shield, so they are saving that Haunter in the back without any shield protection. Very risky play. Gonna go for the Thunderbolt here again, and this is gonna do a lot of damage like I said. And pretty much at this point, I know with a shield on my Swampert, I could handle that Haunter pretty well. So I'm gonna let the Deoxys actually take this damage here and switch onto my Swampert. And at this point, I just need to get rid of this Skarmory because I know that with the shield, I'll be able to beat that Haunter. So I get a little bit of energy, overfarmed a little bit just so that I could get to the Hydro Cannon here. But this Haunter's in a really tough spot. Basically needs 2 Shadow Balls at this point to knock me out. So I do get to the Hydro Cannon, no shields left. Haunter isn't going to throw a move. We take this game and we are 1-1 after a pretty unfair result in the first match. Shatan 14 here. In the next matchup, Deoxys into Mew, another very difficult lead. And in this situation, I'm actually going to stay in with the Deoxys here, just because Swampert and Ninetales aren't your traditional safe swaps, and they are pretty prone, or vulnerable, I should say, to getting hard countered when you switch into them. So I stay in with Deoxys here. They show Surf, so I know at this point the second move needs to be a Wild Charge or else Surf will not KO. And if they go for Surf here, I actually have a chance to win this match or simultaneously KO. We are going to get off this Rock Slide. I could have probably went for the Thunderbolt, to be honest, which would have knocked out the Mew, but I didn't. And as you could see, we almost take out that Mew, but it must have some pretty good IVs. Coming to Swampert, farm down, we lose switch, but we see a Azumarill coming here. So at this point, I have an energy lead. I'm going to go straight for the Sludge Wave at this point, and let's see if we get the Azumarill shields. Now for my Ninetales, I am actually running Solar Beam. Don't know if that's the right move. You might want to run Psyshock, but kind of want to test out Solar Beam here. We shield the Ice Beam here, and I'm going to go for another Sludge Wave here. Because I had an energy lead, I'm pretty sure I could go for 3 Sludge Waves in this situation. So let's see how I play this out. And let's see if the opponent chooses to burn another shield here. They do. So at this point, I'm going to take this damage here from the Azumarill. And then I think what I'm going to do is actually switch into the Ninetales and go for the Beam. So here comes the Ninetales. We got the shield in hand. This Azumarill's dry energy. We get the lag out of nowhere. We are going to go for the Beam here. Now I know that this would not KO if it's an Ice Beam most likely, but if it's a Hydro, it's going to KO. There is the shield. Here comes the Solar Beam. I did not want the opponent to switch out on this, so I overfarmed a little bit just in case they did. Looked like they were staying in. Boom! Beam on the Azu. We see a Skarmory in the back. This is absolutely amazing. Gonna throw this Weather Ball here. Ninetales coming through super clutch in this particular matchup. And that is a lot of damage. And look, this Skarmory can't farm us down despite being shouted because those Fire Spins are doing too much damage. So at this point, I could come back in with the Swampert. It could not farm enough energy, and I'm going to get to this Hydro Cannon. This is going to give us the win, coming back from a pretty difficult lead in Mew. So far, Shadow Ninetales Kanto version is looking pretty damn solid. Next matchup, Smithzilla 11 here. And we are going to be leading Deoxys into Alolan Marowak. So Alolan Marowak did receive a buff on Shadow Bone, and what I noticed actually playing this matchup a few times today is that Deoxys actually now wins in the 0 shields against Shadow Bone Marowak, which is pretty insane. The less damage is actually affecting that matchup. So you're going to see here, I let the Shadow Bone go through, and they are going to beat me to a Bone Club here, but Bone Club will not KO, and if they went for Shadow Bone, I'd actually beat it to the Rock Slide. So you can see I survived that Bone Club. This was not possible before. So Rock Slide comes through here, gets the shield, and even though I lose that match, I do get a shield advantage, so that's pretty good. And I thought Marowak was actually going to be worse because of that Rock Slide debuff, but it looks like it's actually going to be a bit better because of that Marowak matchup. So bring in Swampert here. I throw energy before it could throw a move at me, and we see Tropius come in. I switch into Ninetales. This is a horrible matchup here. Opponent brings in the Swampert. I don't really know what I'm going to do here. I was thinking, okay, do I go for the Solar Beam, try to catch them off guard, or do I just try to do some chip damage? I decided I'm probably going to go for the chip damage here. You see I already burned both my shields because this Swampert is so damn spammy. And here comes the Weather Ball. Unfortunately, I let a Mud Shot go through, which is not good. I cannot be affording to do those kinds of mistakes here. And now I'm going to go for another Weather Ball. Another Mud Shot comes through. Weather Ball, this opponent should be at a Hydro Cannon at this point. I get to the Weather Ball again. The opponent must be over farming. This is going to knock out the Swampert. I just beat a Swampert with Kanto Ninetales. Tropius comes back in. Can I get to this Weather Ball? I need this right now. It's a Razor Leaf Tropius. Weather Ball comes through. This will not KO, but will I be able to get to a move on the Swampert? I don't even think Hydro Cannon's enough here. And in hindsight, it is not enough to KO. But look at what happens. This is not lag. The opponent, I'm pretty sure, rage quit at this point. Closed the app out of probably anger that they lost this game, threw it, and you know, we take these Mud Shot down with the Swampert here. If the opponent did not quit, if they stayed in that match, they would have won that game because Hydro Cannon would not have KO'd. And they would have had a move. I would have lost CMP tie. or not CMP, I didn't have a move ready on the Ninetales, so they kind of threw that game. TrentSzcz in this next matchup, Alolan Marowak again. This, like we saw in the previous matchup, a pretty decent match now for Deoxys. Just don't use any shields, and you'll at least take a shield advantage into the next Pokemon. So you can see here I'm going for the Rock Slide. I actually let a Fire Spin go through there, which is not good, but should still be okay here. I'm going to get to this next Rock Slide after this move comes through. This is going to be a Bone Club. Like we saw, it's not going to KO, and this Rock Slide is going to go through here. This will KO the Marowak, so we should see the shield come up here unless they want to give up Switch, which I doubt they do. So they're going to farm us down, and now I'm going to bring in Swampert again. You can see this time it looks like the Marowak has a bit more health than the previous one. So my decision here was that I was probably going to lose CMP tie in this situation, so I'm actually going to let this move go through. Sorry, I'm going to let them throw a move but shield it and then farm down completely. This is an aggressive farm down. We're able to do it, so we're even on shields. I have 100 energy here. That was a crazy farm down. Opponent's going to come in with, I believe, Abomasnow here, so I'm going to go straight for the Sludge Wave, and this is going to do a lot of damage. It actually won't KO because it's not a shadow, and I'm going to get to this next Sludge Wave. Now my plan here was to throw this Sludge Wave and then instantly switch out into the Ninetales, but unfortunately for us, you can see it is CMP tie, and he does survive that Sludge Wave, so a little bit unfortunate. And I'm going to switch out to Ninetales as soon as I shield this, and they have an Azumarill in the back. So at this point, I got super greedy, thinking I could get to this Solar Beam, thinking I was some sort of Pokemon hero. Not gonna happen. I should have just went for the Weather Ball, because if I went for the Weather Ball, I could have got this Azumarill into Sludge Wave range, which may have won me the game. I think honestly I would have probably still lost because I can't really much shot down that Abomasnow, so it would have been really close. But the greed definitely got to me there and is going to cost me that game. So you see, that should be enough Weather Ball damage, I think, in that range on Azumarill. Could be wrong because I don't know these matchups, but I imagine I could have probably took out the Azumarill. But either way, tough loss there. Well played to the opponent. Zac attack 1295 here in the next matchup. We are leading Deoxys into Shadow Machamp. This is a very good lead for Deoxys. So the opponent switches out into Wigglytuff, and I like this. This is all signs go for the Ninetales coming in here. Look at this Ninetales spin around with its tail. Gonna go for the Weather Ball here. This is a great matchup for Ninetales. Wigglytuff, this is what you love to see. And I wasn't 100% sure if I could farm down here, so I'm going to throw the Weather Ball. Don't want to take any moves here, although technically I could and still be okay. But I wanted to save some health on this Ninetales, because I was pretty sure I could get to a move against this Machamp. And Weather Ball actually will knock out Shadow Machamp from this range. So I'm going to throw this right here. And you can see the shield does come up. So now I'm going to bring back in the Deoxys. This Machamp does have energy, but of course none of these moves really do anything to Deoxys here. I can tank them pretty well. Opponent's going to throw energy, which I like to see in this situation, and I expect them to switch out after doing this, or they're going to take this hit, I guess. So they might let this go down. Maybe they'll use a shield. We'll see what happens until the opponent decides to play this. They are going to let that go through, and they are going to get to another move. At this point, I decide to actually shield, so I'm assuming that they might be weak to Deoxys since they're not switching out. But as you can see, it's Diggersby. Shout out Battle Bill, that's his Pokemon right there. So Swampert comes in here, gonna throw the Hydro Cannon. I was gonna call it Bunyeri or something. But yeah, Diggersby, and of course Deoxys has a good matchup there, but so does Swampert. No reason for me to shield here, because I don't even think Earthquake KOs, and basically I need that shield, because I know with the shield I could just farm down the Diggersby here with the Deoxys and then take care of that Machamp, which has like 1 HP. So I'm gonna let this go through again. Really no point to shield here, even if it is an Earthquake. It is. You can see it doesn't take me out, but it's able to farm me down. But their health is so low now at the point that I can just come in with Deoxys, throw this Rock Slide, which is going to be enough to knock out the Diggersby, and then I'm going to be able to basically counter down this Machamp, which had like 1 HP. So take that game. Let's move into the next battle. Pat SC 2342. Are you guys enjoying this Ninetales action? Because honestly, Ninetales is pretty damn hype. Abomasnow here, great lead for Deoxys. So I expect the opponent to switch out, and you can see here, they're not switching. Of course, they catch the move. This is a new play on my part. I should not be throwing here, because none of their moves will KO me, and it's obvious they're going to switch out. So they catch a Rock Slide to Politoed, which is great for them. And now I decide to stay in here because I don't really have a good answer for Politoed, believe it or not, looking at this lineup. So kind of forced to stay in. I figure at this point that they will shield, so I go for the Rock Slide. They do shield, which is very good for me. I save a bit of energy. And now I don't expect this to be an Earthquake. I expect them to bait me the first time, so I make a call. It is a bait, so that's really good. Now I'm going to get to another move, but they get to one first. So now this could be the real nuke move, so I do decide to shield this. It is a Blizzard, so I'm going to throw the move here now. This should be enough to knock out the Politoed. Don't really expect the shield now that they're trying energy. They let that go down, and we see the Abomasnow come back in. So I'm going to let this go down, bring in the Ninetales. Ninetales has an amazing matchup against the Abomasnow. See what they have in the back here. They actually switch onto Deoxys, so they do farm me down. I had energy ready, but now I got Swampert here, which is going to have a very good matchup against the Deoxys here. So we're in a great spot. Basically, I have Swampert aligned with the Deoxys. Ninetales saved for that Abomasnow. Ninetales hasn't even made a presence yet in this match, I believe. So great position here to be in. I'm going to throw this Hydro Cannon at the Deoxys, and the opponent still has a shield. Doesn't look like they're going to be using it yet. They're probably wondering what I have in the back, so they let that go through. Should be able to farm down here now, and I will have a move ready to throw at the Abomasnow when it comes back in. See, Rock Slide does not KO. And basically this Abomasnow is going to throw its energy instead, so at this point it's pretty much GG's. Nothing they can do. Do get rid of the Swampert here, but I could just come in and Fire Spin down with the Ninetales. You can see that is a lot of damage coming there from the fast move, and we take that game. So 2000 red here in the next matchup. I believe this is the final match of this set. Deoxys into Shadow Politoed. So there has been a lot of new Pokemon being featured today in the battles. I saw a lot of Alolan Ninetales, a lot of Politoeds, a lot of, I don't know what else there is, but there's a lot of stuff. Excadrill. I've been running Excadrill too. It's questionable, but that'll be a future video. Deoxys here, Politoed. This is a decent matchup for Deoxys. I tend to like to call the baits here with the Weather Balls. Doesn't seem like they tend to really go for the nuke very often. And you can see we do get the shield there. And now this second time, of course, I'm going to shield here because I am going to get to another move here. And the question is, will I go for the Thunderbolt or will I go for the Rock Slide? Well, they switch onto Sableye, so I'm going to bring in the Ninetales here. And Ninetales has a pretty good match against Sableye, but they do have a slight energy lead. So again, I don't know how these matches are because it's the first time playing, so I decided to just shield the foul play. I know that these Weather Balls seem to be hurting everything they go up against, so the opponent does get the shield there. And unfortunately for me, I won't be able to beat it to this move because of the energy lead, which is a bit unfortunate. So I'm hoping this doesn't KO. If it does, I'm in a really tough spot. We survived by the skin of our teeth, and we are going to get off this Weather Ball to knock out the Sableye. So that was a pretty big win for us. Politoed comes back in, and look at this. What the heck am I doing? I go for Rock Slide when I have the Thunderbolt ready. Like, these are some noob moves. Doesn't KO. I bring in Swampert, and look at this. Because I didn't go for the Thunderbolt, the Politoed is going to get off a Weather Ball on me, which is going to put me in Weather Ball range for this Abomasnow. We CMP tie. I can't get off the Sludge Wave, which would KO the Shadow, and we lose this game because I couldn't click the damn Thunderbolt because I'm a noob. So very rough loss there. Honestly, this team performed a lot better than I expected, and I believe the hype around Kanto Ninetales is pretty legit right now. Very fun Pokemon to use. Definitely recommend it if you have one. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.